Oxford students are going to be given welfare resources, it's been described as, to help them cope with a talk by her at the prestigious Oxford Union later this month. She's been invited to speak there. I'm invited to speak there most weeks, but it's a very late night if you've got to get up in the morning. But it's sparked outrage from campaigners. She's been accused of being transphobic and trans-exclusionary by the Oxford University LGBTQ+ Society. They have demanded her invitation be rescinded, and the Oxford Union in return has said they will provide welfare resources to students due to the sensitive nature of the occasion. What is going on? Let's talk to Stephanie Davies-Arai. She's the founder and director of Transgender Trend, an organisation for parents, professionals and academics who are concerned about particularly children being diagnosed with transgender issues and getting treatment when they're far too young to know the repercussions. Stephanie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
These stories, I mean, these are laughable. This is my old university. The idea that when I was at uni in the late 80s and early 90s, that hearing someone talk who I didn't necessarily agree with would mean that I would need to have welfare resources. I mean, I would have been laughed at, quite rightly. And yet these people are trying to stop her being invited, shut her down, have her cancelled, and then claiming that even hearing her say, frankly, facts, like you can't change your biological sex, that is a fact, is so distressing for them, they will need help with their mental health. What's your reaction?
The Oxford Union is simply validating what the students are doing. They're colluding with that sort of bullying, awful defamation of Kathleen Stock,
Yep.
who is very clear in her book that trans people deserve the same rights as everyone, and in fact have the same rights as everybody. There's no rights that they don't have that the rest of us have. But she's really clear on that they should be able to live their lives in peace without discrimination as the rest of us do. So to accuse her of transphobia and being anti-trans and all the rest of it, all the things we're used to hearing, is really ridiculous.
But virtually everybody they say this stuff about, the J.K. Rowlings, everybody else. I mean, I'm apparently transphobic. I've never expressed an anti-trans view in my life. I don't think anti-trans thing. I'm very, very, very happy for everyone to live their lives as they want to live their lives, where it doesn't impact on other people's freedoms and safety, and that's the key thing. But also where it doesn't impact on our ability to use language accurately and to state scientific facts, biological truth. That and I see this, and look, it happens even on our our social media and our website. People do it all the time because they're falling over themselves and getting themselves in a twist. When someone who is born male, you mean a man? That's the word you mean. You mean a man. And people are they're just twisting themselves into these ridiculous things where we talk about, we've got Nicola Sturgeon when she was First Minister of Scotland insisting that a trans woman should not, who was a double rapist, using, I mean, what did that trans woman use to rape those women? I mean, I'm unable to actually speak honestly because they're twisting themselves with this reality that doesn't really exist. But this is the thing. Actually, I know the Oxford Union, the fact they've invited Kathleen Stock and they want it to go ahead, they're not giving in to the bullying, that's a good thing. And I'm really proud of them for that as a member of the Oxford Union. But there is also this issue where they, as you say, they pander to this. Instead of saying, if you don't want to hear from her, don't turn up. Or if you disagree with her, turn up and ask her questions at the end. But you must be civil. But, but the idea that hearing a philosophy professor talking in a talk at the Oxford Union is a threat to your mental health is ridiculous. Get a grip. That's what they should say, isn't it?
Well, essentially, the message they're sending out now is you're right. Kathleen Stock is so dangerous that you need some welfare help and counselling in order to deal with it. So they're saying what you're saying is right and your position is correct. And that's really dangerous because if you treat people like tyrants, they will become tyrants. Every parent knows this with a child. So the university needs to treat those students as adults and say, somebody is coming to speak who has a different opinion to you. you can come along and listen to it and argue your case.
Yeah.
And that's what adults do, and that's what you're expected to do, particularly as university students.
But it's bizarre. But
the Oxford Union needs to be really, really clear on that and not treat them as babies.
Yeah, I mean, they've been better than some, but we have seen, you know, Home Secretary Amber Rudd, she was disinvited over the Windrush scandal. The psychologist from Jordan Peterson had his offer in 2019 of a visiting fellowship at Cambridge rescinded after the student union complained that his views were, quote, not representative of the student body. But they don't need to be. It's a completely new concept, this, that whatever the topic, whether it's trans rights versus women's rights or any other issue, climate change, Brexit, whatever it is, the idea that because someone has a different opinion from you, they should A, be cancelled, B, be no platform, you know, see, that they should be, that you will be harmed by hearing their words. That's a weird idea, isn't it?
And actually, we've always been a really tolerant country. You know, overall, we're a very tolerant country. We've always tolerated eccentricity. But we don't like being bullied. We don't like being told what we can think and what we can say. And when there is a clash of rights, you have a right to speak out on behalf of the other side. That does not mean you hate trans people. The hyperbole of this is off the scale. Well, you do not hate trans people or want to
exactly. When people just shout abuse at people rather than arguing with them, you know they've not got an argument. That's the main thing. Stephanie Davies-Arai, thank you so much indeed. Really appreciate you joining me.